of course, we've got this hurricane situation that is just terrible. And I was out at an event last night, a networking event. And speaking of that, show note, tomorrow, our members only stream. Tomorrow, I've got an event all day. The schedule is going to change tomorrow. I'll give us an update on that later and make a post about it. But we were there talking about this hurricane, and some people had some friends in Florida. And it's interesting how the reaction was. I was at this table with a group of people, and some people were from Florida, and 2 people had family in Florida. One had family in Tampa. Someone else had family who was like, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes inland from the coast, he said. And they were just saying they're just going to hunker down, just figure it out. They go inland a little bit, and that's it. Okay. Because from our perspective in Arizona, and as an Arizona native and an Arizona boy, this is a desert. If we get even 5 drops or more of rain in the entire valley, we probably should shut the government down. 5 drops, you know how much that is? That's a lot. People don't know how to drive. We have oil that bubbles up off the asphalt. People are skidding all over. It's total mayhem and madness in Arizona. So the idea that you batten down the hatches and just hang tight for a hurricane is pretty wild. But I can see it too. I can also see it. So here's a couple updates on this, and then we'll jump into the rest of the business on the day. But look at this, right? It's coming in hot. And so our friends out there in Florida, we've got a lot of them out there, and I saw Viva's out there and many others. So we're sending our love and hopeful that this dissipates, calms itself, and apologizes for the inconvenience. So we'll see if this happens, but it's going through. You can see a lot of damage. So Wednesday evening, that's tonight. It's right around this area. Thursday morning should drop down once it hits the coast. Winds dropping way down from 125 to 85 down to 75. So today, tomorrow is going to be the big impact. And you may have seen this. You may have not seen this. I watched this yesterday and I went, oh my gosh. Like I said, in Arizona, we get 5 drops. Everybody freaks out. And I'm only half joking about that. It's a little bit more than 5 drops, but not much. And everybody does. It's hilarious. But watch this video. This is a CGI rendering of what a hurricane looks like when the storm waters actually surpass 6 feet, 9 feet, all the way up to 15 feet. And it is catastrophic.
So what does that look like? Let's show you. Imagine this. Imagine 3 feet of storm surge right here. Now, if this amount of water catches you by surprise, it's too late to evacuate. Cars are floating around and floating away. There's large objects in here that could knock things down with a battering ram-like force. Now, there's no way, again, to evacuate with this kind of storm surge. But we know there's going to be places with more than 3 feet. Imagine 6 feet of storm surge. Now, this completely floods out the first floors of homes and businesses. And the only way to escape that was to move to the higher floor of a building. Now, unfortunately, there are going to be places that get more than 6 feet of storm surge flooding. Imagine this, 9 feet and even beyond of flooding, of inundation. This is practically not survivable. So please follow the advice of your local officials when they ask you to evacuate. And if you have any questions about what evacuation zone you're in, if you need to go and or where you need to go to floridadisaster.org. And by all means, everybody, please stay safe.
All right. Yeah, that's a lot of water. And exactly. Now add in sharks and alligators. It's not good. So we'll continue to pray for our friends out there. Hopefully this thing resolves itself. Now, the Department of Homeland Security is out there getting asked about FEMA and our government's response. J.D. Vance, you can see in the Wall Street Journal, said Biden-Harris mismanaged Hurricane Helene. Says shortly after Helene made landfall in the U.S. on September 26, Joe Biden was at his house in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Kamala was flying between ritzy California fundraisers, hobnobbing with celebrities. What do you think about that, Alejandro?
Shortly after Helene made landfall in the United States on September 26, Joe Biden was at his house in Rehoboth Beach. Vice President Kamala Harris was flying between ritzy California fundraisers, hobnobbing with celebrities. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas was in Los Angeles presiding over an award ceremony. How do you respond to those accusations from J.D. Vance?
Kate, we don't listen to or pay attention to such unproductive and, quite frankly, counterproductive words.
Shortly after
Pay attention to it. We're doing amazing. And I think I saw, I forget where it was. On C-SPAN, some other award ceremony that they were having. Homeland Security, I think earlier this week or last week, was having an award ceremony for themselves because they are doing such a great job securing our border and responding to domestic crises all across our homeland. All right, that's Mayorkas having a hard time out there.